My name is Cindy Hansen. I am the clinical director here at MyOutcomes. And when I was first introduced to MyOutcomes in 2009, I immediately saw the importance and utility of these simple tools and have been promoting and teaching about them ever since. I've helped many agencies over the years to create successful implementations using MyOutcomes. But I've also seen a lot of struggles and too many failures, and that is why our team has worked to create this On-Track program. The On-Track program is designed to help organizations successfully implement MyOutcomes and become feedback-informed systems of care. MyOutcomes automates and provides advanced reporting using a trans-theoretical evidence-based practice known traditionally as PCOMS, which is short for the Partners for Change Outcome Management System, and more commonly referred to today as feedback-informed treatment, or FIT. And like any evidence-based practice, it requires careful planning and resources to be successful. Implementation consists of several non-exclusive phases. Each phase, exploration, installation, initial implementation, full implementation, and sustainability, is comprised of numerous tasks that are all required for successful outcomes. The On-Track program is based on the implementation science of Dr. Dean Fixsen and was developed in collaboration with Dr. Scott Miller. Dr. Miller is the co-developer of the Partners for Change Outcome Management System and subsequently feedback-informed treatment. He is also founder of the International Center for Clinical Excellence and is a well-known author and speaker. In this first module, we will be reviewing the key components of the exploration phase. Dr. Miller will now provide some insights and introduce you to some tools that can be helpful during this phase.
Each year, I'm out teaching workshops around the US, Canada, and abroad. I have to say that very often on hearing about feedback-informed treatment, many agency managers and staff are excited, they're interested. And then they go back to their agencies and that interest begins to wane, and it wanes fairly quickly. I may get a call a little bit later and people want to resume using feedback to improve their outcomes. People ask me then, what should we do? And I say, hit the reset button, stop for the moment. The phase you really need to go through is what implementation researchers call exploration. Virtually all groups want to hop over this particular step and go straight to implementing the scales across the agency. I take that as a sign of their excitement, but I know that when exploration as a phase is skipped, implementation has a much higher risk of failure. So what should you do during the exploration phase? You do as the name implies. You really ask yourself, are these the right tools we need to find out about the effectiveness of our clinicians and our programs, and the fit between our programs and the clientele that we serve? The ORS and the SRS are two tools. The question is, are they up to the job you need them to do? We've found the two tools to be quite helpful across a wide variety of agencies: mental health and substance abuse, outpatient, daycare, residential treatment, and inpatient settings. But that doesn't mean you won't need to take the time to form an initial implementation team, a group that's made up of managers, supervisors, and line staff, as well as people that might be critical of this whole idea of routine outcome measurement. Sit down, take out the two tools, and begin exploring. What would it look like to use these tools in our setting? What are the pluses? What are the minuses? What could the potential problems be if we decide to implement in our setting? This is also a time when you should talk to other agencies that have already implemented the measures in their particular setting. You'll learn a lot by talking to those other folks. Let me just say that when it comes to implementation, you can't go slow enough. That's the lesson of virtually every agency or group that I've consulted with over the last decade or so as they try to implement feedback-informed care. Most agencies on average, and this isn't just my experience, this is research by those scientists doing implementation research, most implementations take between 5 and 7 years before they're successful. It's really not about adopting measures. It's about changing the culture at the agency, ensuring that the culture there will support clinicians seeking feedback from their clients on an ongoing basis. Exploration, thus, is a critical phase. The question then is, are there some tools that can help you out in the process? Because, as I said, it'll be very tempting to think you can hop over this particular stage. We don't need to explore. We know what we want to do. We want to implement the ORS and SRS. If there's anyone on your team that thinks you can go more quickly, because, by the way, the most common way people hear about feedback-informed work, and frankly, the most common way they're trained is in a 2-day workshop. All of the implementation science research suggests that this kind of knowledge and technology transfer does not work in the long run. So to get an idea of the scope of what you're about to undertake, while you're exploring with that initial implementation team, have the team members fill out the FRAM. You may be wondering, what the heck is that? The team at ICCE created this gap assessment tool, breaking up the areas that are likely to be affected by adoption of feedback-informed care into 5 or 6 different domains. You fill out the Feedback Readiness Index and Fidelity Measure, and it will instantly give you a sense of where your strengths are and the areas that you'll need to focus extra effort on in order to be successful. The FRAM is also something that you can use in the subsequent stages of implementation to track whether or not you're making progress towards full implementation and eventually sustainability, which is the last stage in the implementation process. Before we move on to the next stage, I just want to mention one more thing about exploration. When managers are asked how long it will take to implement a particular or new evidence-based practice, most seriously underestimate the amount of time and the commitment. In fact, this happens so often that researchers have a term for it. They call it the planning fallacy. Numerous studies have found that even when asked to give their worst case scenario date by which time a group will be fully implemented, most don't meet that particular date. So let me say once again, spend time in exploration. 6 to 9 months is a good start.
So the main point during the exploration phase is go slow and explore. Make sure you ask yourselves, is there a need? Is there a fit? Is this the right time? Create your implementation team, complete the FRAM to help you gain clarity around your goals and your roadblocks. Talk to other agencies. If you need help reaching out, we can put you in touch with other agencies already using MyOutcomes. We have also created an on-track exploration booklet that provides additional free resources, including the FRAM Dr. Miller mentioned, and I also offer 30-minute one-on-one implementation consultations that can be booked through the website or by using this link here. Once you have determined that there is a need, a fit, and that this is the right time, your next step will be to get a quote, commit to moving forward, and setting up your account. After you are set up, the on-track program will be ready to assist you in the successful implementation of your program. Your success is our success, so explore and reach out to us when you have a need. We are here to support you.